today I'm going to talk to you about a topic that's super important, and it has to do with cleaning up past energy from old relationships. I see that as we are transitioning and going through our changes here energetically in our world, a lot of things are moving and shifting around. I mean, we have so many political systems that are moving, the finances in our world are redefining itself, so many things are being redefined in a way. And I think that as we are shifting our energies from a more imbalanced perspective, we're coming into more of a balanced way of looking at many different things because we are asking the questions about that balance. We are noticing the imbalance in a lot of our systems, in a lot of our structures of reality, whether it's cultural, whether it's religion, whether it's what we're eating, our lifestyle, the way we are living our lives. I think we're starting to question the balance that is in those structures of belief and cycles of what is it called? Routine that we are constantly going in and out of. So, because of that, I think that our body and our mind is also going through a restructuring of how we are interacting with our body. And our body is a multidimensional being. And because of that, our interactions with people around us are going to be on many different levels. And this is something that we notice when we interact with people in a party, in a group, in a social setting. We pick up on people's energy. We pick up on how they're feeling. We pick up on our five senses, our noticing. And utilizing our five senses, we are picking up that information and translating it into aspects of ourselves that we can relate to. That's how we relate to others, by kind of like computing similar aspects and trying to comprehend where we fit in, how we can assimilate to each other. And during that process, there's a tremendous amount of energy exchange that occurs in meeting anyone and interacting with anyone. As we first become aware of their energetic space, then we tap into their emotions, then we kind of want to identify their mindset, where they're coming from, to see if they match with our mindset. And so we are going through the many different layers of the body. And if you see the body, we have one physical aspect, we have an ethereal, we have an emotional, we have an energetic, and then our causal body and our astral body. So there are many different layers that we are going through when we're getting to know someone. The problem with this is that some of our relationships tend to be quite superficial. So a lot of our interactions with people are going to be pretty much on the surface base. Now, the surface base is what picks up all the information from around it and is processed through our chakra system. Our chakra system, again, is our bank of information, our library of information, where our perspective is being processed through. So what that means is that when we interact with someone, if we're not conscious of our energetic space and our boundaries, we merge tremendously on an energetic level, which means that our energy bodies are merging, opening spaces, which we are bringing in other people's energy, foreign energy, into our energetic space. And in addition to that, depending on how the connection is being created with the person, whether we are talking about sexual energy or sexual tension between you and a person, or even if it's just a friendship and we are starting to understand and have like a meeting of the minds per se to see where we can relate to each other, we are connecting to different chakra systems through a cord system. So anytime we exchange energy with someone else, we are creating cords. And these cords are basically like when you plug in, let's put it this way. When your phone needs to charge, it's gonna plug into well, let's put it this way. When your phone has a lot of information that you want to download or pick up, you grab a USB cord and you connect it to a laptop or a computer. And with that cord, you are able to transfer information back and forth. And in that same way, we are creating those energetic cords with people. And those cords are transferring back a lot of information that either we are in resonance with, most likely we are in resonance with. And the fact that you are in resonance with that energy that this person is putting out, like for example, if they are someone that is very happy and outgoing, and you are very happy and outgoing, then that's the vibrational frequency that the two of you are going to share during that interaction. Now, if this is a very toxic person that is very troubled, has a lot of problems, has a very heavy energy, and you are resonating with some of that energy at that moment, that's the level that you are both going to be resonating at, throwing back that same energy back and forth. However, if you are a person that is vibrant and happy and you interact with someone that is very gloomy and maybe depressed, there is a certain aspect there that we need to be cautious of. And just like we did the analogy of a USB cord, your phone has to give permission to upload or to download information onto your computer or your laptop. So in that same way, our ability to choose whether we want to take on this lower vibration, this depression, onto our body and our mind energetically is completely up to us. But it requires us to be conscious of how we are feeling, how we are interacting. It really requires us to take a moment and check in and be conscious of the present moment. This is why I provide so many techniques on how to be in the present moment, because it's within the present moment that we decide in that second when we are meeting someone, when we're interacting with them, whether we want to continue that exchange or we want to maybe choose to block ourselves off. Now I'm going to make another video on how to block yourself and protect yourself and become neutral to energies around us in another video. But today I'm going to talk about how to interact and cut those energetic cords when we have past relationships, whether they're friends that we had a falling out with or we have a relationship that we no longer want to interact with. It's really important to kind of create a cutting of that and of those cords. So disconnecting those USB cords from both modules, I guess, or organisms, so that we're not continuously throwing back that energy. Now, if you really heard what I said here, I'm saying that with everyone that we interact with, we are creating energetic cords. So when I look at your body, you look like a web of cords that are connected to all of these people. So everyone that you work with, anyone that you have had an exchange with, unless you are conscious of your energetic space, you are creating a cord with them. So that being said, we're really talking about a tremendous amount of siphoning of energy that we're often not conscious of. And here are the things that it causes us to feel. It causes us to feel confusion because we have a lot of energy, mixed energy coming in and out of our space. Energy is information. So anytime that we're picking up on an emotion or a subtle hit of vibration from a person sitting next to us, like a bad mood, we're going to pick up on that subtly. Our subconscious mind is processing that information. So that is a cord, okay? And that is information that is now in our energetic space, processing, transforming, and utilizing. The subconscious mind utilizes all of that unless you clean it out. It's really important to be conscious of your energetic space. And we often do pay attention to our space because at the end of the day, we end up being drained and exhausted and tired. And we often want to find a release. Now, what does the body do? Our initial reaction is to find a distraction because we don't want to be completely in the body, because we're holding on to all of this energy that we've now taken on from other people around us, or we're constantly siphoning or taking in and out, throwing back the energy back and forth with people. So we don't know what to do with this energy coming back and forth. So our initial reaction, because we lack the tools or the knowledge of how the energetic body works, is we want to escape. So what do? We turn off the mind that is connected to all the five senses and we distract it. We go to a party, we get drinks to get alcohol, a numb nervous system, maybe drugs, maybe we just go work, even working out so we can get some adrenaline moving. But none of these things are actually working to disconnect those cords to releasing all of that toxicity and to creating healthy boundaries. So energetic hygiene is incredibly important. And when we are interacting with our self at the end of the day, when we finally have that moment to connect with our body, that's when we really have to take the time to release all of these cords. Okay, so I want you to visualize that in your meditation, it just takes 5 minutes, literally in the middle of your lunch break. If you're working in sales or you're interacting with a lot of people, just visualize yourself cutting the cords on their end, cutting the cords on your end. I dropped my pen. And as you cut the cords, you cut it on their end first because you are being conscious of what you no longer would want to receive. And then you're cutting the cords on your end. And as you get better at this, you're going to start using your intuition and your senses to kind of tap into where in your body you start to feel those connections. And I want you to notice that where these connections are, the most toxic cords that we have with maybe problematic relationships, toxic parents, family, friends, people at work, vampires of energy that take our energy. These are the cords that cause physical pain because now we have a stagnant energy, like a stagnant energy that is stuck, not flowing through the body. Why? Because we are not consciously moving that energy through the body. So it's really important that we cut those cords. And when you cut the cords, the next step is to inhale deeply and visualize that all of the energy that you spent, so within that interaction that you had with the person from beginning to end, all the energy that it took you to protect yourself, or maybe you were completely unconscious all of that time of just being absorbed into their stories of their problems and pain and suffering, or maybe with abusive relationships that they're causing us to feel less of ourselves, tearing down our well-being. All of those interactions are things that we have to become aware of, and we are aware of them. We know them. They are all stored in the subconscious mind. We have to access that information and clean it up instead of having it stay there, so that now this becomes our truth and we are reacting to things that are occurring outside of us based on this information, which isn't always the most positive and most expansive perspective. It's not the whole reality, right? So we have to be able to identify what are the relationships through that are no longer serving us. And so anytime someone causes us a lot of pain and suffering and sadness, we have a choice to no longer interact with that energy. Okay, so as you inhale deeply and exhale, you're going to visualize all of that coming back to you as pure gold life energy, re-entering into your physical body, nurturing, re-empowering, re-energizing. And it is just amazing how the body feels so much more energized, so much more whole and complete. You literally stand up straighter and you kind of integrate your energy that you let go. See, energy is always reallocated. It's never disappearing or it never eliminates. So that being said, we are a constant fountain of energy and we have to decide where our energy is going and whether we want to leave it out, lingering in other spaces that don't belong, because those are cords that are siphoning our information and also picking up information. So after you're done doing that, you're going to also visualize letting go of energy, anything that you took on from the other person, whether it's toxic emotions, toxic habits, toxic thoughts, feelings, anything that has to do with all of the problems that maybe they put onto you. And energetically, in a sexual partner, this is even stronger. It goes down to even another level because now you have physical interaction, whether this was physical sexual abuse or sexual interaction in an amorous relationship, oftentimes when we start to feel drained in those relationships that are sexual and amorous, it is because we are exchanging lower vibration of that sexual energy instead of a higher, pure, more loving, unconditionally loving energy. And so the body will feel torn down, weak. We feel drained after sexual intercourse. We just don't have any energy. And that is not the other person not assessing boundaries, not having healthy boundaries. So even more so, we are cleaning up on many different levels that toxic exchange. So as you exhale, you visualize letting go of all of that energy that no longer serves you, allowing them to heal, allowing them the opportunity to cleanse their space and neutralize their space. And now what you have done energetically is created a neutrality between the two of you, between you and the other party. And in this way, you are defining your boundaries. So once you have cleaned up all of those cords with all the people that you've interacted with, you are now more complete, more whole, more re-energized. You're going to literally feel lighter, and you're going to feel more energetic, more awake, more centered, more present. And so now that you're here, I want you to release, visualize that you are cleansing your sphere from all of this gunky energy that you have picked up that does not belong to you. So you're going to visualize a vacuum connecting to the bottom of your sphere, and you're going to let all of that down to the center of the earth, releasing all of that energy that no longer serves you so that you can reset these energetic cords. Now, I'm going to do a separate video on the complete meditation of healing from relationships. I'm going to do one for sexual relationships, amorous relationships, and this is a very big topic because it goes also into abuse. And that is a very, very important thing that we sometimes are not aware of, how abuse affects us on an energetic level. But we must understand how the body works so that we can understand why we end up feeling exhausted, why we end up feeling angry, confused, have a lot of pent-up emotions that sometimes we're not even aware of or conscious of defining them. So I invite you to visit my website if you want some more information, and if you want a one-on-one healing with me, please let me know. I am very happy to assist. My sessions are an hour and a half long, and they consist of a 4-part session. The first part is understanding the technology of the body, working with the chakra systems, disconnecting from the physical plane so that we can get into higher levels of accessing higher levels of information so that we can work on deeper levels within the body. And secondly, we go into a regression, going into the very root cause of any of these ailments, problems, blockages, money problems, love problems, any kind of blockages that we feel in our lifetime. We are accessing the root cause of that. All issues that are occurring in our life, all blockages, any stagnation of energy is for our growth and our evolution. But we must understand how to access that information and how to utilize those blockages and transform them into pathways to finding our identity, our truth, and our healing. So I invite you to visit my website. And if you have any questions, please do let me know. I'm very happy to assist. Much love.